This is part 2 of the demo. We'll explain the area menu as well as how to model retention in the archive retention cockpit. The area menu for the tool can be reached via the code /doll/ARC. Once you enter this into the command line, we see that we have access to the catalog, which is the most important transaction, because here we can review all of the sessions which are under retention control. Under the customizing, we find the most important customizing transaction is the ARC1 customizing transaction. All of the archive retention cockpit transactions are prefixed with the prefix /doll/AC underscore. So let's have a look at the customizing. If I'm entering the ARC1 transaction, I see that I can model retention, number one, by what kind of objects I would like to set up retention. As we can see here on the first line, for FI we have set up a default rule of 7 years. Now, often we see that you cannot simply assign a constant retention. We have to, so the first variable is what kind of objects are there: FI document, HR document, SD document. Depending on the object type, we have retention requirements. The second level we typically see is a region, archive areas as some refer to it, which could be either a country or could be like a geographic area like EU or North America. So in this case we can override the default retention with something like the EU has 10 years, the UK has 11, and the US has 7. But we can also have additional rules, like when we say if a certain document classes like general accounting or manufacturing accounting or any document type specific information can be modeled using a logical end condition in this field, which we call the restriction set. Let me just take the filter off. I just basically set on a filter here, and you can see now we basically can see there's rules, SD rules. So there could be all kinds of archive object specific rules which can be set up. But typically the chaining of something like this could be specific to HR. Here are rules which are specific to HR, and from a technical level we see essentially what we are investigating. Certain fields in a certain table will be actually evaluated in order to determine what retention rule applies. Take another example here for HR and FI. So in the FI world, you would see that this would apply like for each of the different countries. There would be specific company codes, and that would mean in a certain, if it's a region specific field like a BKPF table, we would have a certain field. If it's document specific, we could have, we would evaluate certain fields like accounting document type, which would mean we look at the BKPF table in the field. So we can basically rule very flexible tool to model retention in the ARC1 transaction.